Hi, I'm Queen Wells, and this is Ree. My other audience member had to make an emergency exit, so I'm going to speak as if she's still here. I thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you for having me.
Here. Yes, ma'am. All right. So, good evening, everyone. Before I begin, I want you to think about the last item you bought that ended up in the trash a few months later. Maybe it was clothing that wore out quickly, a decoration that broke, or something that seemed like a good deal at the time. But it didn't last very long. Now, think about how often that happens. We live in a world where buying something new is easy, but sometimes convenience comes at a cost, not only to our wallets, but also to our communities and the environment. Today, I want to persuade you to support handmade and repurposed products whenever possible. By choosing handmade and repurposed items, we can reduce waste, support small businesses, encourage creativity, and become more intentional about the things we buy. Let's start with waste reduction. Many handmade creators use materials that will otherwise be discarded: fabric scraps, old textiles, paper products, and other reusable materials can often be transformed into something beautiful and useful instead of ending up in a landfill. According to the United Nations Environment Program, in its 2025 report on sustainable fashion and textiles, the textile industry generates massive amounts of waste each year, with millions of tons of clothing and textile products being discarded worldwide. When we choose repurposed products, we're helping extend the life of materials that already exist instead of contributing to a throwaway culture. Something as simple as purchasing a repurposed tote bag, home decor item, or handmade accessory may seem small, but those choices add up. Every item that gets reused is one less item headed to a landfill. My second point is that supporting handmade products helps support small businesses and entrepreneurs. Behind every handmade product is a real person. It's not a giant corporation or a factory assembly line. It's someone who invested their time, creativity, and skills into creating something meaningful. According to the U.S. Small Business Administration Office of Advocacy's 2026 frequently asked questions about small business report, small businesses make up more than 99% of the businesses in the United States and play a major role in our economy. When we shop from local vendors, makers, and small business owners, we help keep money circulating within our local communities. As someone who participates in vending events and create handmade products myself, I've seen firsthand how much community support matters. For me, this journey became much more personal than simply creating handmade products. After 15 years of dedicated service in a city position, I was forced to retire because of an on-the-job injury. At 56 years old, I was not yet old enough to access Social Security benefits, so I had to find another way forward. Creating handmade and repurposed products gave me an opportunity to continue earning income, stay active, and build something of my own. What started as a challenge became a new chapter. It showed me that entrepreneurship can provide opportunity when life takes an unexpected turn.
That's right.
That is one reason I strongly believe in supporting small businesses. Behind many vendor tables is a person who is overcoming obstacles, rebuilding, or pursuing a dream that deserves a chance to grow. A single purchase may not seem significant, but a small business owner, it can mean covering supply costs or funding future inventory, or simply feeling encouraged to continue pursuing business goals. Supporting handmade products means supporting real people and real dreams. My third point is that handmade products encourage creativity and strengthen community connections.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I love about handmade items is that no two are exactly alike. Unlike mass-produced products, handmade goods often reflect the personality, culture, and creativity of the person who made them. They tell stories. They represent skills, traditions, and artistic expression and creative legacy that can't always be found on a store shelf. According to the National Endowment for the Arts, participation in arts and creative activities and it contributes to stronger community engagement and cultural enrichment. Think about what happens when you attend a craft fair or a vendor market. You're not just shopping, you're talking with creators. Mm-hmm. You're learning about their work. You're meeting people in your community. Those experiences create connections that simply don't happen when we click add to cart online.
That's right.
I've also experienced the community side of vending events in ways I never expected. Mm-hmm. Through these events, I have made new connections, business associates, friends, and loyal returning customers. Some people stop by my table every time they see me at an event and say, "Hello, Queen." Or they just come to see what I've created next. But one of the most rewarding aspects is seeing how these events bring people together from different generations. Young entrepreneurs learn from experienced business owners, while older generations gain insight into new ideas and trends. Those conversations build bridges between age groups and create opportunities for networking, mentorship, and community support. In many ways, the relationships formed at these events become just as valuable as the products being sold. Finally, supporting handmade and repurposed products encourages us to become more intentional consumers. Let's be honest. Many of us have purchased things simply because they were cheap, convenient, or available the next shipping day.
Yeah, that's right.
But how often do we stop and think about where those products came from? Or how they were made? Or how long they'll actually last?
Right.
According to the United Nations Environment Program's 2025 guidance on sustainable consumption, consumers can help reduce environmental impacts by making more thoughtful purchasing decisions. Choosing handmade, repurposed products is one way to do that. It doesn't mean that every single thing we buy has to be handmade. That's not realistic. Mm-hmm. But what it does mean is taking a moment to consider the value of quality, sustainability, and supporting people instead of simply choosing the fastest option available. When we make intentional purchases,
right,
we're voting with our dollars.
Yes.
We're deciding what kinds of businesses, products, and practices we want to support. In closing, supporting handmade products is about much more than buying an item. It's about reducing waste. It's about supporting entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. It's about encouraging creativity. And it's about making thoughtful choices that benefit both our communities and our environment. The next time you're looking for a gift, a household item, a piece of decor, or something special for yourself, I encourage you to consider a handmade or repurposed option. A single purchase may seem small, but collectively, our choices have power. By supporting handmade and repurposed products, we're investing in creativity, sustainability, small businesses, and the people behind the work. Thank you.
Yes, that's good.